This is Thomas Lyons for Raps on TV here at York Hall, Bethnal Green for the Steve Goodwin Show. Fortunate to be joined by the victorious Dennis Wahome. Firstly, Dennis, how have you been?
I'm alright, man. I just had this fight. It was interesting, man. It was really, I felt it was a great step up.
Yeah.
Very competitive. It was fun.
Yeah, fifth professional fight, remain unbeaten. Just talk to me a little bit about sort of how the fight came about and how pleased are you with the step up in level tonight?
I have to be honest with you. I knew it was going to be a pretty hard, challenging fight from the first round because the dude is a little bit taller than me. Not that that was a thing for me, it was just I knew his reach would be more than mine. So when I was trying to size him up from the first round, I could see his measurement of distance was pretty good. So I knew I was in for like a good fight. So,
yeah.
And
I mean, from the opening bell, you sort of were sort of suss him out, so to say, and sort of as you stepped in and then found your range.
Yeah.
I mean, the rhythm was, down to a T, and kind of how you kind of bagged the rounds in terms of your volume of punches, setting the shots up. I mean, in terms of the game plan going into the fight, was it a case of just kind of figuring him out early and then sort of step on the gas? And,
basically, the plan was originally to go in there, see what he has to offer.
Yeah.
From the first round, I saw that he was going to be a bit cagey. He's very awkward. I was warned by my coach he's awkward, but you never know how awkward someone is until you're there with them.
Yeah, of course.
So I was alright. I got in there, and he's got this thing where he tries to step off to the side or something, and then he comes in, but he comes in with his shoulder. But yeah, just having to deal with stuff like that, and then. But it was yeah. So basically, I tried to see what his plan was in the first round, and then after that, just take it through the gears, and then from the third, I knew I was going to take it up anyways.
Yeah.
But I also knew, come to the sixth, because of how the fight was going, I knew in the sixth he was going to bring it.
Yeah.
And he did, and then but I stuck to the game plan. I didn't fall for his little showboats or anything, so it was good, man. It was fun.
And you're sort of into this phase of your career now, sort of being given the platform and the exposure of York Hall Goodwin. I mean, how excited were you with the kind of the atmosphere generated tonight? A lot of support out for you, and how did that kind of feel into your performance?
It felt good. I felt like it drove me. It gave me, it fueled me to perform well. Because I could hear the crowd at times when if you get tired, sometimes hearing the crowd really amps you on and it keeps you going, especially in that sixth, because everyone was saying it was like that was the round. So I was like, round six, I just knew I had to go because at the end of the day, it's, I don't know what the judge is saying, because if you remember, he tripped me up in the third or the fourth, and the corner ref tried to count it, but the main ref saw it was a trip. So I was kind of like, I don't know how it was going, but I knew I had to go. So when it came to the sixth, I just bit my gum shield and said, let's go.
And I mean, sort of watching from ringside, you were kind of forced to engage at some points in the fight, and sort of how were you able to sort of outmaneuver your opponent in terms of, like you said there, pivoting around the guard, sort of setting your shots up and then sort of changing the angle like you did so well?
I practice it a lot in sparring, so it's all about trying to keep the distance the same. So if he comes at me, I have to maintain the distance. My coach always stresses that, so I try and keep it. I went back in the fourth, and my coach was really amped. Like, he was getting at me. Like, he put me in a different mood. Like he made me think that I was down. So that helped me. It fueled me to get a bit more energy and go out and actually do what I do. So I knew I'd have to be smart, stay there, block properly, have a stiff guard. Because he kept coming in a lot and throwing little awkward shots, but I would catch it, and then return the fire. I caught him with a great hook, but the guy's just resilient, man. You know what I mean? He's very durable. So. And
I mean, as you step up the level, the caliber of opponent. I mean, in terms of those kind of little bits in the fights that you kind of have to work at and adjust to, is that going to kind of stand you in good stead for when you do sort of challenge for major titles?
Yeah, of course. I felt that this fight was very well needed, because if I've never gone through something like this before, and I go into a title fight and I start experiencing these things, it could come and it could be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I prefer to experience these things now, so I can, keep it in my mind and know how I've dealt with it in the past before. So if it ever gets to that, I'll just be like, okay, cool, we've been here before, we know what to do. So, but yeah, I do plan on going for a title within this year. Either not my next one, so either the next one after that or the next one after that. So,
And so what would you say is most important to you? Is it kind of a case of having to impress and showcase your skills on a big platform? Is it a case of, as you step up, making those improvements, learning on the job, and gaining the experience for when you do make that transition?
Yeah, I do. Every time I go out, I want to perform.
Yeah.
I want to have a great performance, so that as everybody's watching, I want them to remember me and say like, oh, that's that guy.
I mean, with the dazzling shorts tonight,
Thank you, man. Yeah, I just want to be able to be me as an individual, and for people to stand out. So people are looking forward to my fights, and I'm more of a performer rather. So I do enjoy learning on the job.
Yeah.
But for me, it's all about performance. Just make sure my performance is good, stick to the basics, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of the super featherweight domestic scene at the moment, I mean, thriving across all weight divisions, but even super feather, you've got the likes of Martin J. Ward. I mean, loads of kind of fighters, Leon Woodstock, Zelfa Barrett, kind of those kind of fighters, Ronnie Clark. So, I mean, in a healthy position at the moment, yourself. What's kind of your ambition, say long term, the next 12 to 18 months? What are you kind of looking to get under your belt in terms of fights and titles as well?
Right now, my focus is on the southern area. I want to secure that. So, like I said, I have to speak with my management and my coach and see what's best for us right now.
Yeah.
But moving forward, I'm focusing on the southern area. Then once I get the southern area, then I can start thinking about other things, because to be fair, I don't want to start thinking of everything. I just want to focus on one thing, achieve that, and then move on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the plan. But within this year, I want to grab that southern area.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of out of a sort of rating out of 10, how would you say your performance tonight fared in comparison to say your first 4 fights as a professional?
Give it an 8. But that's being generous.
Yeah. But anyway, Dennis, appreciate you giving us some of your time and getting you on the platform. I mean, just the final prediction, fight tonight, Spence Garcia. How do you see that one playing out? Obviously, Spence, the champion, Garcia having to climb up 2 weights.
I think, to be honest, moving up 2 weights, it's not as easy as people think. We'll see how he holds the weight after 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And if he can stay on the inside. Do you know what I mean? Because Spencer's a great inside fighter, and all he does is go for the body.
Yeah.
And then he finishes you like round 7, 8. So I think it all depends on how well Garcia can carry the weight.
Yeah.
Moving up, and then going into the deeper stages of the fight.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think really the fight will be determined from 7 onwards. Round 7 onwards.
So did you?
I personally think Spence will take it, because that's his weight. That's what he eats every day. Do you know what I mean? But you never know, man. Stranger things.
Yeah, I think it's one of those fights. Kind of nice. Kind of divided the boxing world, and it's one of those kind of 50-50 pick'ems. Don't know whether Garcia's carrying that momentum, new weight, kind of revived kind of chapter in his career.
Know.
So
maybe he might move up and then find that that's where he really belongs.
Yeah.
But I just say, if this is where you've always been and this is what you've always done, then nothing's new to you right there.
Yeah.
But we'll just see how he can hold the shots for moving up. Do you know what I'm saying? So
exactly. You'll see how it unfolds. But any special mentions you want to give for this camp? Any sponsors that helped you through the sort of training camp this time around?
Real quick, thank you to you for the opportunity of the interview.
Oh no, we're just trying to give you some light, some exposure.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Also, a big shout out to Bravos. Oh man, if it wasn't for them, they made a lot of things possible for me.
Yeah.
My coach, Xavier Miller, Nicholas Prempe, also to Steve Goodwin, because if he didn't present me with this opportunity, I wouldn't be able to build. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, thank you to all the fans that came and supported me.
Yeah.
Because without them, a lot of things wouldn't be possible. yeah, man, it's just I appreciate the support of a lot of people.
Yeah, no, of course, and yeah, I mean, great performance again tonight, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you ahead of your next fight. I appreciate you giving us some of your time tonight. So yeah, I'll let you go and celebrate your victory, and all the best for 2019.
Thank you, man.
Top man, Thomas Lyons, Raps on TV, Dennis Wahome. Guys, make sure I pronounce that right. Pleasure having you on the platform, and take care of yourself. All the best. Top man.